So welcome and thank you for joining us on this CARA Business Academy webinar that I'm doing. And I am Leslie Kristen, and I will be talking through this whole probably about 60-minute webinar that we're going to do. And it's really focused on right now how to be able to keep your business going through this COVID-19 chaos that we have going on. Also, if some of you are new and you're just starting into the business, you might have never experienced something, and especially like this, because none of us have experienced anything like this. But I wanted to share a little bit with you about who I am, what I do if you don't know who I am, and then also why I feel it's so important right now. So first off, I want to thank you for being here on a Saturday afternoon, and some of you will be watching this on the replay as well. But it's kind of unheard of that a lot of people are sitting at home during this time. But if you're watching this at some time in the future, we're having a bizarre world virus attack that is, we're going to probably look back at this and go, oh my gosh, remember when this happened? And so, I've been through 9/11 before. I've been through when the economy tanked. That was in 2004, 2008, I think it was. Then, there's just always going to be ebbs and flows, but nothing like this where we're actually having to be in lockdown at our own home. So many of you are probably experiencing a halt to your business. And so I want to talk about these things, and I want to also look at it as a time for opportunity as well. So I just want to share with you, I'm Leslie Kristen, and I am the brand founder of CARA Cosmetics. And I have been a lifetime makeup artist since, the early 80s when I got my cosmetology license. And since then, I was fortunate enough to really start early on with a freelance career as a makeup artist, and then went into working with photographers. Then I was fortunate enough to meet some people that opened up my career in the commercial world, and then opening up Universal Studios, MGMs, and MGM Studios, and then really kind of launching my film and television career. After that, I became a member of IATSE 798, which is our East Coast makeup artist and hairstylist union, and did that for many years, working, and I still do. I still work on some production work, love doing that. But once I started my business in 1995 actually is when I founded CARA Cosmetics, and I started to build the cosmetic line at that time. I started while I was working in film, testing out different manufacturers, researching, and we started to, I started to build my business that way. And then I, out of really like working with clients, and I'm based here, if some of you, because I know some of you are not from here, but based out of Orlando, we're in Maitland, which is kind of like a little suburb of Orlando. I got a lot of clients just asking me, how could they learn how to do their makeup? I also got a lot of great press as well. So I was lucky enough to, Southern Living did an article on me, got some TV and also newspapers back in the day when people read newspapers. But I got an influx of clients. And so Studio CARA, my makeup studio, came about. So really there was nothing linear besides really wanting to start a cosmetics line where, how my business kind of evolved. And a lot of times out of opportunity and necessity, things show up. So I wanted to share that with you because being a makeup artist and being an artist that I think all of you are that are watching, we don't tend to think like that. You know, we don't tend to think like, oh, this is a business school or going to business school. Hopefully some of you have studied that, which would be so much more helpful. But I didn't ever have a very linear thinking in my business. And when it comes to times like this, you really want to have something to fall back on, and you need to have some kind of structure. So that's where this month, you know, starting up in April, I'm going to be really focusing so much on helping you out. And the fact that we've been doing webinars for years now, and some of you I already know through these webinars, and you've been taking our makeup courses, and so it's nothing new to me. And so it came at such an opportune time that I already have all of this in place, and I can continue with another division of my business. So we're going to talk about those things and look at how we can really structure our business to sustain, you know, our income coming through. So thank you so much again for being here. I see that Cindy has, you know, she's shared that she is with us. I know some of you other girls, hop on, share, you know, chat in this, and then we're going to have some live questions. Actually, before I start, I just want to talk to you a little bit about, you know, I want to talk or ask you if there are, with this coronavirus within the past couple of weeks, are there some areas that you have found that you're struggling in? You know, have you lost your income? Like, has it just across the board stopped? Are there certain things that you've experienced? So please put those in the chat, because I'd love to know, and I want to address those as we go. Or have you not been as affected as you thought you would be? So I'd love to know that. And then today, what I want to do is we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about topics to strategize with your area of expertise. And then I want to also look at a couple of ways that you can grow your business in this time of crisis. Then also how to not lose momentum and hope and gain business during this COVID-19 shut-in. So those are some of the things that I really want to focus on here, and ask you as we go along about some of these, because I would like for this webinar to be as interactive as possible. I know you're here to get the most out of it, and I don't want it to just be me talking to you about some things. So if you are like me, then you notice, which a couple of weeks ago, I have to say, I had my commercials, those just went away. All of a sudden, I was getting cancellation after cancellation. Those went away. Then I started to see some of our weddings that have been postponed. So there was, I think, a certain time frame where some of these brides could actually, you know, not incur some penalties, so they were able to switch their dates. I don't know if some of you have also experienced that. So you can see that, and then of course, you know, people are afraid, so they're canceling their appointments. So how many of you are actually working one-on-one with clients and you've experienced that? Or how many of you have been laid off because you work in spas and salons? So there's a whole huge shift of different things that some of you may be going through. And, you know, I am so sorry about that if you have experienced that, but we're all in the same boat right now. I know our government is trying to help us out, but again, being resourceful is going to be the key for us. So I see that, you know, some of you have not been some of you have not been experiencing, that economic downturn as much. I know some of you have been doing that. So it looks like there's a little variety of both. And then, so I'd love to know if there is something that, and what I'm going to do is at this time, I just want to open up, I'm going to unmute you all, and I'd love for you, or if you would like to unmute, and just right now, let me know if there's anything that that you would like to address. If there's anything kind of immediate that, or that you think of, or for someone else that has been an issue, and that you would like to address in this webinar at all. So feel free to share if you would like to do that right now. I'd love to, answer any questions kind of on this topic as we're going through. So it looks like, okay, good. That's fine. You can also put that in the chat as well. Let's see here. So I want to talk about a little bit about mindset as well. What is your immediate action and response to this coronavirus shutdown? So are you somebody that's in survival mode, or are you more in denial mode? And there's no judgment. It's just kind of how a personality trait is. I know for some people, they're just kind of like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm just going to kind of take advantage and, go to the pool or whatever they're doing. And then some other people are looking at it probably like you, because you're on this webinar right now. And some of you are actually asking yourself, what can I do? What are some of the things that I need to be doing right now at this time? So I know that all of you are, you're in different places with your business. So I know for me, I had to spend a little bit of introspection, because when your income and a good bit of it comes to a screeching halt, I have employees that I have to decide what I want to do. I know some, a lot of spas. I mean, there's millions of people that have gone on unemployment. I still need my staff. And so you have to do some soul searching there, and you have to figure out, okay, is it just, oh, this is the thing, like, let's let everybody go and they can all go on to unemployment? This is also, I feel like it's a time for you to look at what resonates with your integrity and with what you feel like you need to do. So I feel that this time there's quite a bit of looking inward for us, right? And the fact that we're kind of isolated right now, and that we have to be, is really forcing us to do that. Because when we're busy and there's a lot of distractions, and especially as artists, we don't necessarily look at our business like a business. We just love what we do, and we love being with people. So it is just a natural progression, and we're hoping that money continues to come in, right? So what I want to do is I want to talk about the areas of employment. I want to know how many of you are making money through retail. So that's one area of makeup artistry. And I know some of you are carpreneurs, so that is an area. Are you still making money with retail? How many of you, or how many people have like tightened up the belt and they don't want to spend money right now? So you kind of have those too. You've got my client that just, hey, 2 seconds ago, was at the door, didn't even bother, to call to see if we were open. And so there's opportunity there. And I have to say, actually, a lot of clients, we've actually been calling them for them to place their orders and to let them know that we have free shipping going on too. Then how many of you are makeup artists working with private clients in a salon or spa and you have not lost your employment yet. So, but you are still, that's the way that you've been gainfully employed so far. Who is also in the freelance industry? So are you maybe working with bridal right now? So that's another area. And then how many of you are freelance makeup artists working in production, TV, editorial, things like that? So that's another area. I think quite a few of us have come to a screeching halt as well. I think maybe there is some production going on. I haven't reached out to a lot of friends of mine that are in other areas of the country, and I'm sure that they have pretty tight specifications on what needs to happen right now. So I'm still wondering with some of my friends if they are, because they are on location, and how long are they shutting down for. So I would love to know if some of you are in those different areas. Just let me know, hey, this is what you're in, if you're in bridal or if you're in salon spa. Okay, so what I would like for you to do, and this is because this is something that right now we're looking at, oh my God, I've had all this cancel for me, and I don't have this money coming in. So what I'd love for you to do, and you don't have to do it obviously right now, but I'd like for you to list the jobs or even the clients that have canceled, but they've postponed their appointments, or these jobs that have also, like, I've had a job that's already pushed 3 times now. So the way that we want to look at this is that we have these jobs that have canceled, they're not going to reschedule, right? So keep a list, let's say, of this income that is lost, right? That'll just kind of show you, okay, I had this and this and this gig, or I had this and this and this clients or appointments, and this is the income that I've lost. Then have another list of those that have postponed. Because, and some of you may have already done this. I don't know if you kind of keep track of that right now. So kudos to you if you have been keeping track of this, of your business this way. But one of the things that I want you to look at from an abundance mindset is that if, let's say, like, for example, there was a wedding that we had on our books, a big wedding, I think it was like 12, 13 people, right? So, that's several thousands of dollars right there. And it postponed till September. So even though that income for May is not there, it has postponed, and luckily we have a deposit. So it is, someone that's probably not going to change. So the way that you want to look at it is like, okay, I don't have this income right now for May, but I didn't have anything on the books for September. So look at that future income for September, because, let's believe that this virus will be well out of its way by September, right? So look at it this way, right? These are things that you may have not had on the books in the future. And so there's still something that's hopeful for us, that we can look at, like, cool, I've got my September and maybe my October that's already booking up, or even, the summertime could even be a possibility. So that's going to give you an idea that, hey, if I know that these weddings are scheduling for September, then perhaps this might be a trend that I need to hop onto, right? So is this kind of resonating at all with you? So just look at it that way. It's going to give you more hope, and it's going to give you a better vision on your company to see. And also it's going to tell you, hey, I can't go on vacation in September because this is when my income has rescheduled to, right? So that's one thing that I want you to do. So have that abundant mindset of looking like, wow, okay, I'm booking up my fall. My spring looks pretty, looks pretty crappy right now. But the fall that I wasn't even thinking about now is looking much more promising for me. So there's that to look at. Then the next thing that I want you to do is, in order for you to maintain your momentum and for you to look at your business from, a standpoint right now that is solid, right? You want to, like, our business is not falling apart. And if you let your mindset think of it that way, then it will fall apart. So I'm not here and I'm not committed to you having that kind of mindset, nor am I committed to letting my business fall apart. So that is one thing that together, and having a community and a mentorship and having access to people that are the ones that are encouraging for you is so much more helpful now than ever. And I have a CEO community that I am a member of, and I have mentors that are business mentors that help me with these type of things, and I've had this for years. And that's why it's so important to have these access to these people that have strengths in other areas that you don't have, so it makes you more powerful within your own business. But the next thing I want you to do during this time, because I know you girls are not the ones that are going to be, oh, okay, I'm just going to use up all this time to, have a little staycation here, is really looking at your business. And the next thing is to maintain momentum in your business is to look at your business with fresh new eyes. And what I mean by that is to look at your business as though you were looking at your business through the eyes of a client. And so this is something that you can do right now. If you were, let's say, to look at your business, so let's say, you have a salon, okay, or a spa. I'm just going to use that as an example. Now is the time for you to walk through your spa and to look at, the flow of your spa. Look at your menu of services. Look at the cleanliness of it. Look at the location. I mean, we can still go into our own businesses and work on our businesses, thank goodness. Maybe your website, your employees, maybe looking at who do you have as your staff. All of these things that we usually don't take a look at that often because we're busy in our business. This is really the time to be an outsider, or even maybe have a poll on social media or even with your friends and ask them questions about all of these things. Because what this can do, and I'm telling you what is going to happen, and this is the cool thing that happens during these times of these like serious chaotic times, is that all of those people that are hobbyists, that are, this kind of dabble, they're going to fall away. All of these people, they're because they don't take their business seriously. It's not a business for them. They're just kind of piddling around with what they're doing, and they're going to fall away because they're not willing to put in the time, the energy, the money, and the focus into really surviving. So what happens is that during these times, you're going to have more access to clients, because those people are going to let that go, that are maybe, have, you're going to see a lot of businesses probably close as well. But what that's going to do is that if you own, let's say, a business, it's going to give us access and a bigger pool of better people. And so that is something to think about. Anytime that there's really hard times, the creme de la creme starts floating up to the top. and because we're committed to what we're doing and we're going to stay in the business. So you're going to have access to better people. Now's even the time to maybe interview different people or look at yourself like, okay, what is my asset? Who am I? And how can I now all of a sudden, maybe you're a makeup artist that's a freelancer and never thought about, working part-time in a salon or a spa. So now would be the time to get your resume up to par, to start working on that portfolio, to have your Facebook page looking great, to talk to those clients that you haven't been talking to. And because trust me, people still need their foundation. If you're working with products, people still need their products. And at a time like this, women want to feel good. The stress level is up here, and a lipstick is something that usually at times of crisis, times of war, things like that, lipsticks are a #1 sale because it's going to be something that is an easy pick-me-up and it's affordable. So if you look back at some of these trends that we've had, these are some of the things that are very important to look at, and you can take advantage of these things too. So I hope that some of you are looking at maybe, does it sound like a good idea for you to kind of look at your business in a way that is, through the eyes of the clients? How many of you have actually done that before? I would love to know. So if that's something that you've thought about. Then what I'd like to do also, if you are looking at your business right now, taking that time to kind of structure your business. So only you, I think, we know those nagging things that we need to be doing, right? I know that I've got a couple of pages on my website that I have to write content for, and I know it's costing me money because I haven't done what I need to do. So these are the things on the list that I know I need to do. Another thing is updating our service menu, right? So all of these things that we need to get going at is the perfect time now to start doing that. Let's see. Now, if you are a creative like me, there's definitely, we love to create projects. I love to create projects. I love to, dabble on things that maybe are not helping me generate income. So it's really time now to spend that time getting focused and creating your structure. And that is one thing that in the CARA Business Academy, it helps you go through that as well. If you're not familiar with that, I know some of you are going to be in our CARA Business Academy, and in the month of April, we're going to work on this whole month, accelerating, walking through this. And trust me, I'm going to be doing some of these things along with you, or at least making some of my employees do this, because we know those areas that we have to look at that are going to help us make some money. So looking at that, so you're going to kind of write your list right there of things that need some improvement with your business. Because if you look at it like this, if I were to go in and spend money as a client in this spa, what are some of the things that I think are a little lackluster, right? That are maybe not up to par. And that could be anything from, the recording on your answering machine to, or your voicemail to your website or access, and I'll share with you, for example, it's something really simple was I need to replace my AC unit. And so I put a post on Facebook, and I had a whole bunch of people share with me the different AC people that they had. And this, one of the recommendations, there was no phone number, so I was on Facebook. She put a link on Facebook. Well, the phone number on Facebook was a fax, and I couldn't get through, and there was no other number. So I messaged them on Facebook, and I said to them, your phone number, I cannot get through on your phone number. It gives me a fax. And so they messaged me back fairly quickly, and they said, can you tell me what number you called? And so that's something right there. So there's two things. I did tell them, I said, it's this number right here. But one thing is, you know, making sure that you're checking your links and things on Facebook, or if you have a fax machine, don't hook it up to your initial number. So there were a couple of things just with that showed you, you know, and an AC unit is not something you're going to wait around for. So I'm on to the next person. So they, you know, and trust me, it's about a, you know, it's over a $6,000 investment. So not having that thing hooked up to their fax could it very well cost them over $6,000, because I'm already on to the next person. So when you think about it like that, those are things that are really important to stay on top of in your business. And we don't really think about it like that. If you also think about if there's not an easy way for clients to get a hold of you, look at what the lifespan of your client is per year. Have you ever looked at what that is? I mean, some of you may be freelancers that are, you know, just commercial work or things like that. But also, if you look at, I have clients that I do commercials with that they've been using me for years. So if you look at what that lifespan income that I've had, I mean, it's tens of thousands of dollars at least that, you know, that I've made from them being happy with my work and also being accessible. But if you're not accessible, and maybe you want to think about, like, how much is that actually costing you that somebody else that you might know that's not even as good as you, but they might be much more on top of getting back to their client right away, or these leads. So that's something to really think about there. And, you know, in this time of feast and famine, we really kind of want to look at hunkering down to what makes us money. That's the biggest thing right now that you really want to look at. Okay, so the next thing is, you know, I want to share with you that a lot of experts right now, they're saying that you should look at your business and you should have a plan for your business. And I want to tell you, I am guilty of this, that I am, you know, just making myself transparent, but having a 5-year exit strategy. Like, how many of you have even thought about that? Do any of you think like, oh, okay, I have my 5-year exit strategy? Even if you're a freelancer, you know, is that something that you have thought of at all? So experts are saying, you know, it's really a different way, you know, as a makeup artist, to look at your business. And, you know, perhaps you can sell your business in 5 years, or, you know, just being able to retire. You know, what is your client base worth? Is that even something that maybe you want to bring on somebody else in your business? And, you know, you might not sell the business to them, but you might make a percentage off of that business. How much are you going to be putting into your business in the next 5 years to really build it up? And you don't necessarily want to just walk away from that. So, you know, certain things to think of. And, you know, I started my business like that, actually. I realized, you know, as a makeup artist that yes, did I make a great income as a film, you know, freelance makeup artist? Yeah, absolutely. But I knew that all I had was my makeup case, and I wanted to create something that down the line was an asset to me. So those are things. Now, it's a huge liability as well, especially in times like this. But you know, is that you? Is that how you think about your business? So something, you know, to digest and to really look at. Because if you look at things like this and you understand kind of where I'm coming from, you're going to be at a whole different level from other people. And you're going to keep those clients, and you're going to keep those great clients, because when you're dealing with clients and vendors that are calling you that are, you know, the Ritz-Carltons for weddings, or the, you know, professional, I work with a lot of pharma companies and things like that. They're not going to have people that are kind of iffy. You know, they want top tier makeup artists with portfolios, with professionalism, that know how to speak to people that are CEOs of the companies, that are using private jets. And, you know, I mean, this is not all of you are going to be doing that, but you want to think of yourself as offering top tier services and giving the best that you have. And that's, you know, what my goals are, you know, for you and in the world of makeup artistry. That's very important to think of it that way. Because if not, then you're going to be at the mercy of budget clients, and your business would probably, you might as well just, you know, walk away from it, because you're going to be stuck with, you know, people that, if you're putting half-ass energy into your business, you're going to have half-ass clients. And that's just, I'm just straight up with you guys. That's just how I am. That's the reality of it. And you won't be here 5 years from now. You won't be here probably maybe a month from now, if that's what you're putting into your business. So just be very real about it, because these times are very real. And that's why I'm sharing, you know, this webinar with you, because it's like, it's tough times. It's tough times, it's scary times. And so, but not everybody is suffering financially. So think about that. And what I want, so the last thing that I wanted to share with you about is, after my tough love chat right there, is I want you, so if you are at home right now, and I know some of you have already done this, but if you're at home, or if you're working from a particular place that is, you know, a room in your home, or from your office or something, I want you to think of create a dedicated work area. And because if we have a space that we have, that we love, we feel creative, we feel successful, we feel pretty, we feel clean, you know, all of those things affect how we work. And this is the time for you, if you are now shut in at home, and you might have kids, or you need to, you know, create that business environment for you, whether it's going to be having, you know, cleaning off your desk, reorganizing, even having, you know, beautiful file folders, or some, you know, flowers, or changing up your artwork, or whatever it might be, is having that space around you that's going to create beauty. And I think that is, for me, my environment is a huge influence on how I can work, how focused I can be, how happy I can be, and I think healthy too. And if you're in this business, you know that our work, you know, transcends just putting makeup on someone's face. And it is definitely, you know, there's definitely a lot of healing that happens with our hands. And there's a lot that we give, you know, with our heart, with our energy, to our clients. And we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves first, before we can even, you know, extend that over to our clients. So I think that that's going to be really important for you to spend this weekend, you know, and don't waste your time right now. You know, time is valuable. We're not getting it back. You know, just don't count on maybe that money that's going to come through the government, that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great, that's bonus. But spend this time working wisely and make that environment. And then what you want to do after you've created this space is you want to set those working hours. So if you can get this done in one day, then that's fantastic. And then set those working hours, the same hours that you had before. This is time to spend that time in your room, cut off from the rest of your family, or take breaks in between. You know, if you're going to work 3-hour blocks, then take a 3-hour block. And then maybe if you need an hour to do homeschooling or whatever, I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know what to tell you. Or maybe when they're, you know, if you need to do more work during the nighttime, and that could be social media work. It can be working on your website. It can be obviously not calling clients at the middle of the night, but you know, if you have clients halfway around the world, that may very well be that you're having to work with them. You know, if they're in Tokyo or in Australia or different places like that. So you want to get very serious about shifting, but not just going into a mode where it's going to be, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Because with all of the things that I've shared with you so far, I hope that this is, you know, you're catching things that I'm saying that are going to help you. Now, of course, I want, you know, to share with you that if you're wanting to continue with someone like me that's going to help and coach you throughout this time, then you definitely want to sign up for our CARA Business Academy. And I'll tell you, I have been in this business for so long, and I love sharing with you, and I love working with people that are committed to it, you know, and I know all of you that are on the call are committed to growing, and I love you for that. And so this is, you know, we're gonna spend this time rocking and rolling together, because it's like no other time that we've ever experienced, but we are gonna get through it. So I want you to really take this time and make your environment beautiful. Write down a list of things that you know you can do. But above all, what I want you to do is I want you to look at, sorry, here, 1 second. Actually, let me get a sip real quick. I want you to look at where your brilliance lies. What are those things that you love doing the most and have generated the most money for you? Okay, so look at that. Look at, okay, has this like come to a complete lockdown right now? Or can I still focus on this? Because when you look at your numbers, you can start to see some of those trends. And it could even be like, if you're selling product right now, look at what that trend is. What have you sold the most of over the past 6 months? And if it is consumables, then make yourself available, for example, and when I mean consumables, foundations, cleansers, moisturizers, concealers. Maybe if someone's on a budget, they might cut down on their expensive items such as serums or eye cream and whatnot, but you can help them and maybe, you know, maybe cut down your profit a little bit, you know, give them a 10% or a 15% discount. You're still making money and you're retaining and maintaining your clients. That's the key. Is during this time, you don't want your clients to go to someone else because someone else is hustling out there. So think about that. Who is out there? Who is promoting their business? Because if you continue to look at this, like, okay, start making appointments for 3 weeks from now or a month from now, depending on when this COVID-19, you know, or what your governor is stating at this time, but start pushing, you know, your appointments back or looking at the calendar so you know that in the next 30 days, you're going to be rocking and rolling. or letting your clients know, hey, I've got a discount right now. We are all in the same boat, but I know you need foundation because it's been 3 months since you bought it. And that your clients will appreciate you. They may not be suffering. They might not be suffering at all, like my client. People that are doing web work and all of that, they're thriving. I mean, the stock for Zoom alone has gone up, I don't know how much, because most of the world now is on Zoom doing webinars. So think about those people who's on webinars. We're actually, now focusing a lot, which I have been actually over the past year and a half. I work a lot with clients that do webinars, that are coaches and people like that. So share your talent and your skills on social media, and also make sure that they have a way to reach you and to find you that way as well. So those are some of the things that I want to share with you. Also, letting you know that in the next month, we are going to be, going through all of the things that we go through in our CARA Business Academy. So that's finding your archetype. If you don't know your archetype, which is such a fun thing to do, is finding like the true essence of who you are and how to grow and build your business around it. And for those of you that have already done it, I know that we have some great, and if you want to share with me also, if you guys know who your, or know your archetype, put it on there and in the chat as well. I'd love to know. Talk about branding your business. Now's the time to really walk through that and to look at your business too. Then, we're going to have some fun with creating that menu of services or revamping your menu of services, looking at your social media as well. And those of you that are really, suffering right now in the sense of that your business has really come to a halt, look at some other areas that you may have never done before, but where makeup artists can work. And that is going to be so important for you, because the last thing you want to do is just go into complete fear mode and scarcity mode. And so there's always opportunities out there. And I really want you to, I want you to know that we're here for you on that. And again, I want you to also know that if you're interested in spending the next 30 days with me, that the CARA Business Academy is a webinar-based course, and that we go through all areas of your business. And I'm going to be shifting quite a few different things than from our normal one, just because life is different right now. And we're going to help you gain a lot more structure in your business too. So at this point, I would love to share with you, just kind of recap a little bit. What you want to do is create your space, your office, make it a place you love, clean it out, revamp it. If it's your spa, your salon, take a look at your business place. You can still go in there. The next thing is that you want to look at those areas that bring you the most joy and what your strengths are in your business, or in your talents as a makeup artist. And then also look at those other areas now that you can produce your income, something that is outside that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So those things are going to give you such a better perspective to your business and really help you through these difficult times. So I want to thank you so much.